What's going on, everybody? Josh Callaway alongside Tom Green, Sooners Illustrated 24/7 Sports at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi, where Oklahoma looked awesome for a half, and then the second half was more of what we're been used to as the Sooners lose to Ole Miss 26-14, their third straight loss, fall to 1-4 in SEC play, 4-4 overall. Tom, we'll start there. This first half was great. They led 14-10 at the break. First game for John Finley as play caller. It looked pretty good. Jackson Arnold was making plays. Defense was getting diced up a little bit, but held them to 10 points, a good offense. Second half, it just fell apart. Went right back to kind of what we're more used to. Offensive line couldn't block a soul. Defense was getting carved up down the field. Not the best day for the secondary. And here you are. They lose their third in a row. Much more competitive this week than the last couple, but that's certainly not where the bar is at Oklahoma. And you're kind of left still with a lot of questions on offense as they try to figure this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, that first half, they looked revitalized.
Yeah.
We made a joke upstairs that, man, John Finley's shooting his name up the hot board.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
They looked really good. It looked a lot more like Jeff Levy's offense from the last 2 years and what they were running. And obviously, Jackson Arnold looked a lot more comfortable. They had a lot of success running the ball, which nobody's really done well against Ole Miss this season. Ole Miss came in at, giving up just 66 rushing yards per game, fewer than 2 yards per carry. Oklahoma had 125 yards rushing in the first half. Which almost matched their season high in an SEC game, 130 against Auburn. So they were moving the ball well. Jackson Arnold was efficient. I think he was 10 of 12 or 10 of 13 in the first half for 110 yards and a touchdown. The offense was doing some good things, sustaining drives. They were 7 of 9 on third downs, real efficient. And, that touchdown pass to Jacob Jordan right before halftime gave them a lead. They have not had a lead at halftime of an SEC game this year. Things were looking good for a while there.
Yeah, 100%. I thought Jackson overall was pretty darn good. Probably the best overall game he played. I mean, he had one turnover, wasn't really his fault, got completely blown up, and he fumbled. But he was good. He was efficient. Like I said, that 2-minute drive was, where's that been? I mean, they go 95 yards. Just how you draw it up. And that was right after a fourth down stop. And like you said, they took the lead in halftime. But it fell apart in the second half, in large part, Tom, because the offensive line, and now Jacob Sexton got hurt in this game. That's a big part of it. And it, didn't seem great. No real updates there yet, so we'll be sure to monitor that. But that's certainly a big blow. And they gave up 9 sacks again. Yeah. I mean, you give up 9 sacks last week, and we're talking about how historically bad that was, and it was. And they did it again. And a lot of it was late in this game. The fourth quarter, it felt like every other snap was a sack. There's only so much Arnold can do, John Finley, anyone can do offensively when the offensive line is struggling to that degree. You're kind of left feeling like, when it happens back-to-back weeks, what you had the stat, 24 in the last 3 weeks.
They've given up 38 or 39 now on the season. The program record for a season is 41. Yeah. And there's still 4 games left. Like, that is probably going to get obliterated.
Yeah. It just keeps getting worse. So you're kind of left saying, like, I don't know how much better this offense is going to be able to get when that's the reality. And that, it just felt late like they had no shot because there was just play after play of Ole Miss just teeing off on Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, as soon as Oklahoma was in, like, obvious passing situations in the second half, trailing by, double digits and had to pass the ball, like you said, Ole Miss was just pinning their ears back and getting after it. I think they had 5 sacks in the fourth quarter. That's when things really unraveled. But even before that, the offense just couldn't do much of anything in that third quarter. They got outgained 201-23.
Yeah.
It was just awful. They went 3 and out on back-to-back drives. Bauer Sharp, he was really good in the first half. Had a touchdown, and then the second half it just was not there for him. He had that false start on 3rd and 3 and then couldn't haul in the pass on 3rd and 8. It would have been short of the sticks anyway, but still has to catch that. Next drive, 3rd and 3 again, drops the ball, drops the third down pass, and the offense just goes 3 and out, and Ole Miss scores a touchdown after each of those drives, and it was basically over at that point.
Right, 100%. So it's just, I don't know. We'll obviously have time to talk about it more further this week, but a rough day for the offensive line again. Defensively, I kind of touched on already, some good things. I mean, they were really good against the run. They shut down Ole Miss in the run game, had that fourth down stop that led to that 2-minute drive. But for the most part, Jackson Dart was dicing them up. The secondary, not the best day. Kind of felt similar to Auburn of just one-on-one guys getting beat. Didn't force a turnover, right? Unless I'm blanking on one, other than the Brennan Thompson fumble on offense.
J.J. Hester.
J.J. Hester. Yeah. I thought Brennan Thompson. J.J. Hester. But didn't force a turnover otherwise. okay day, but not great either defensively. Certainly not at the level that we know they're capable of, and frankly, that we've seen, even just as recently as last week. Not the best day defensively.
Yeah, they come out, they gave up a touchdown drive on the opening possession of the game. I think there were some helmet comms issues because I think they had to reset it upstairs in the press box. But they settled in after that and closed the half really strongly. You said they had that fourth down stop near the goal line. Held Ole Miss to a field goal on another red zone trip there, and it looked like they had some momentum. But then the second half, the secondary, the back seven, just got diced up by Jackson Dart. He threw for 310 yards, close to it. Just had the one touchdown, almost had two. The other one, just short of the end zone. But he completed 74% of his passes. 7 completions that went for more than 20 yards. I think 5 of them went for over 30 yards. That's not what you want. Like, we know that this secondary has been susceptible to giving up some big plays, but it was just exploited in this game. And you can't win SEC games like that against a good offense like Ole Miss.
100%. Going to have some questions there for that back end, especially, on the corners. That maybe need to be a reevaluation of where the kind of snap allotment goes there. Some things to figure out, and they got Maine this week, so a little bit of a chance to tinker, you would think, right, and work some other guys in and see how it goes from there. So, Tom, overall, this was a better game. We talked about it on the preview on Friday. It's like almost a 3-score underdog. So they covered the number. They led at half. There were some promising things, but at the same time, you're kind of left offensively. They still didn't score in the second half, right? And so you're kind of left wondering, is it actually better, or it was so bad the last couple of weeks that almost anything would have been looked at as better? Where are you kind of at moving forward? Maine this week, and then that final 3-game stretch. They got to find a way to win one more game outside of Maine to get to bowl eligibility. Are you more confident they could do that today, or are you kind of in the same place as far as this offense is what it is, and it's going to take a lot to win one of these games because they just don't have the horses to score enough points to win?
I mean, if they can play like they did in the first half, I think that they can win one more SEC game.
Yeah.
It's going to take their best effort, but I think there was incremental improvement. And look, Brent Venables talked about at the beginning of the week, he hoped that the staff change would provide a little bit of a spark. Players talked about, just making, some progress on offense. And we saw that even though things kind of unraveled in the second half. It's just can this team put together, 4 quarters of quality football? And they haven't been able to do that really.
100%. I agree. We'll see. I do feel like I'm a little more confident after that first half as far as, okay, offense looked at least capable. The fourth quarter scared me off of that a little bit because of the sack numbers. But we'll see. And there were some encouraging signs. Jackson was playing some really good football for a while. The touchdown pass to Jacob Jordan, that was just a darn good play by Jackson.
Bo Nix-esque play, avoiding the sack and just kind of scrambling and managing to find Jacob Jordan in the end zone. There reminded me of Bo Nix at LSU a few years back,
right,
where he just had this big backyard football Houdini-esque play for a touchdown. Sure. And you like to see that. I was impressed with the way he came out in his first start since that Tennessee game. Showed some toughness, did some things in the run game, opened up some lanes there, was really efficient passing the ball. I mean, he completed 71% of his passes.
Yeah.
The one turnover was, like you said, on that play that just got blown up. They were trying to pull Febechi Wiwu from right guard and bring him over, and I think he stumbled a little bit, and just Jared Ivey came in and just wrecked the play.
No shot.
It was a strip sack fumble. But otherwise,
he was smart with his decisions.
He was smart with his decisions. He knew when to take off. He didn't make any bad passes. That's what you want to see from him. It's something to build on for him, especially the way the first half of the season went for him. To see him kind of regain his confidence in a situation like that, I think is promising.
Yeah, I'm glad I failed to bring it up. He was running everywhere, especially in the first half of this game. Jackson Arnold used his legs, and he's always been a running quarterback. He's had the ability to do it. But in this game, especially in the first half, he was making very smart decisions, whether it's a guy not there, the check down, or taking off and running. It was a game that you saw progress from Jackson Arnold. You saw development, that buzzword. It was nice to see. Fun atmosphere. It was great weather here in Oxford. Obviously, my first trip out here. Oklahoma's first game ever in the state of Mississippi. We had a squirrel run down the field for a touchdown. That was electric.
On the hot board next week.
OC hot board was one of the most exciting moments of the game, and what was actually a pretty good game though overall. So Oklahoma, though, they do fall 3 straight losses. They're back home for Maine and then you go to Missouri, bye week, Bama, LSU to end it. So, that's the SEC. Yeah, that's the SEC. So, all right, that's it for now. Full post-game reaction on the YouTube channel. Brent Venables, Joe John Finley, Jackson Arnold, and others is on the YouTube channel, or will be, depending on when this gets posted. Game story, recap, more to come, certainly on the website with Tom Green over at Oklahoma.247sports.com. Of course, James E. Jackson and Colin Kennedy as well. Sooners lose their third in a row, but some encouraging signs, maybe. We'll see, and we'll talk more about it. We'll have a chance on Monday. Don't forget, Sooners Illustrated Podcast, to pull this thing apart a little bit further and kind of decipher the good, the bad, all of it then. That's it for now. For Tom Green, I'm Josh Callaway, signing off. Oklahoma falls to Ole Miss 26-14 in Oxford.